When it comes to storytelling, there are few things that captivate our attention and terrify our souls quite like horror. From haunted houses to vengeful spirits, each shudder-inducing tale taps into our deepest fears, keeping us on the edge of our seats while we peek nervously over our shoulders to make sure the closet is empty. But what draws us to these terrifying narratives? And why do certain horror stories resonate with us so profoundly that they become ingrained in our collective consciousness, leaving us with sleepless nights and a lingering sense of dread? Join me as we unearth the darkest depths of human fear and explore the art of crafting a truly terrifying tale. The allure of horror can be found in the ancient tales of scary stories told around campfires, where flickering shadows danced menacingly on the trees, creating an atmosphere of suspense and anticipation. These primal gatherings served not only to entertain but also to warn and to prepare. As we listened intently to the stories of mythical beasts and supernatural encounters, we were simultaneously comforted by the safety of numbers and unsettled by the chilling possibility that the darkness might hold something more than campfires and flickering shadows. Modern horror takes on many forms, from the jump scares of found-footage films to the psychological twists of modern thrillers. But at its core, the genre continues to serve the same purpose: to confront us with our most primal fears. Fear is a universal language that transcends time and culture. It's a powerful emotion that unites us in our shared vulnerability. When we experience fear, we are reminded of our own mortality and the fragility of our existence. And yet it is precisely this confrontation with our own mortality that draws us to horror. By immersing ourselves in terrifying situations, we are able to confront our fears in a safe environment, gaining a sense of control and understanding in the process. One of the key elements of a successful horror story is the creation of an eerie and suspenseful atmosphere. This is achieved through the use of vivid sensory details that immerse the reader or viewer in the story, allowing them to experience the world of the story firsthand. Consider, for example, the opening scene of a classic haunted house story. As the protagonist approaches the dilapidated mansion, the wind whispers through the trees, creating a haunting melody that foreshadows the unsettling events to come. The gnarled branches of the ancient oaks reach out like skeletal fingers, their leaves rustling ominously in the breeze. As the protagonist steps closer, the sound of their own footsteps echoes through the stillness, amplifying their sense of isolation and vulnerability. Each creak and groan of the house adds to the growing sense of unease, building suspense and setting the stage for the horrors that await within. Through this masterful use of sensory detail, the author transports the reader to the very heart of the story, allowing them to feel the creeping dread and impending sense of doom that hangs over the haunted house. Another key element of horror storytelling is the gradual buildup of tension. This is the process of creating a sense of anticipation and suspense by slowly revealing the terrifying elements of the story. A skilled horror writer or filmmaker understands how to pace the narrative, keeping the audience on the edge of their seats as they slowly uncover the dark secrets and lurking dangers that threaten the protagonist. Think about the iconic scene in a suspenseful thriller where the protagonist is pursued by a relentless killer through a dark and labyrinthine city. The story has been building towards this moment, dropping subtle clues and hints at the killer's presence. As the protagonist navigates the shadowy streets, the tension ratchets up with each passing moment. The relentless pulse of the soundtrack underscores the growing sense of urgency and danger. With every twist and turn, the audience is kept guessing, wondering where the killer might strike next. The masterful buildup of tension in this scene is a testament to the power of suspense as a storytelling device. By slowly revealing the terrifying elements of the story, the audience is kept on the edge of their seats, their imaginations running wild with each passing moment. The effectiveness of a horror story also depends on the relatability of the characters and their motivations. When we encounter characters that we care about and understand, we become invested in their journey and fear for their safety. Take, for instance, the found-footage horror film. Shaky camera work and raw, unfiltered images create a sense of immediacy and realism that draws us into the story. We identify with the characters, their hopes, their dreams, and their fears. And when they encounter the terrifying, we experience it alongside them. As the tension builds and the danger becomes more apparent, we find ourselves holding our breath, hoping against hope that they will escape the clutches of whatever evil they have unleashed. The power of found footage horror lies in its ability to blur the lines between fiction and reality. We are confronted with the raw, unfiltered emotions of the characters as they face unimaginable horrors. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of situations, the human spirit can endure. However, for those who wish to venture into the realm of the unknown and confront their deepest fears head-on, there is a certain thrill and excitement to be found in these terrifying tales. For some, the fear that accompanies these stories is exhilarating. It's a welcome distraction from the mundane realities of everyday life. In these moments, we are able to escape to a world where anything is possible, where the boundaries between the living and the dead are blurred, and where the darkest corners of our imagination become reality. But why do some horror stories become ingrained in our collective consciousness, leaving an indelible mark on our culture and our psyche? To answer this question, we must look no further than the stories themselves. Some of the most terrifying tales are those that tap into our deepest and most primal fears. The ones that have the power to evoke a visceral response in even the most skeptical of minds. Consider, for example, the fear of the unknown, the dread that accompanies the things we cannot see or understand. In the eerie silence of a darkened room, our imaginations run wild, conjuring up all manner of terrifying creatures and lurking dangers. But perhaps the most terrifying fear of all is the fear of death itself, the knowledge that one day we will cease to exist, that our time here on Earth is limited. This is the fear that permeates many horror stories, the fear that death is not the end, but only the beginning. The prospect of an afterlife, whether in heaven or hell, has fascinated and terrified humankind for centuries. The idea that our actions in life will determine our fate in the hereafter is a powerful motivator, driving us to seek out the truth and confront the darkness within ourselves. Some horror stories go beyond the realm of the supernatural, delving into the darkest depths of human psychology. They explore the twisted minds of serial killers, the unsettling world of cults, and the disturbing secrets that lie hidden beneath the surface of seemingly normal people. These stories remind us that sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones that walk among us, hidden in plain sight. As we delve deeper into the world of horror, we must confront our own mortality and the fragility of our existence. We are reminded that life is precious and that every moment should be cherished. But in the face of death, we also discover the strength and resilience of the human spirit. The heroes and heroines of horror stories often emerge from their terrifying experiences forever changed, but ultimately stronger and wiser for having faced their fears. In conclusion, the enduring appeal of horror stories lies in their ability to confront us with our deepest fears and remind us of our own mortality. But in facing our fears, we also discover the strength and resilience of the human spirit. So as you gather around the campfire or settle in for a scary movie night, embrace the darkness. Let your imagination run wild and discover the thrilling power of a good scare. Let the spine-tingling tales transport you to worlds where the boundaries between the living and the dead are blurred, and where the monsters in our nightmares become all too real. For in the darkest corners of our imagination lies the key to our survival, a reminder that we are not alone in this world, and that together we can conquer even the deepest and most terrifying fears. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.